All right, Black Barn Social Club, God bless America. We're talking boots. Today, we're talking specifically about the Natural Cypress Plain Toe boot from Truman Boot Company. I didn't necessarily need, I didn't need another boot. I'll always say I want more boots, but I didn't need another boot. But the more I saw this Natural Cypress out in the wild, the more I saw people make videos of it, the more I saw the color, it called to me that this is a boot that I had to have. I've heard people explain it as it's peak boot. It's the right color. It just matches. It could go with anything. And believe it or not, I don't have anything in this colorway. I've recently been wearing those natural waxed Commanders, by the brass boots by Grant Stone, and those may evolve into this. They may burnish and age into something like this, but this comes out the box that way. And so I went ahead and I just held my nose and I pulled the trigger and I bought these directly from Truman. And before they even got here, I'd gotten a notification in my email that the Sesame Double Shot had restocked in the 56 last. So I'm going to wait and kind of compare the two once I get them both, but I think there's room for both of those in this rotation. But these right here, let me tell you, I don't normally get emotional about things. But when I opened the box, when I opened the box and smelled the leather on this cypress, this Natural Cypress, it was, I put on my Instagram post, it reminded me of a tack and feed store like that you would go to when you were young, and I'm directly calling on a memory of my dad taking me to this rural Texas tack and feed shop, Hempstead, Texas, and we would go in there and we would pick out the leather to make, to braid and to make, stuff with. You know how they used to do that? You could go get natural leather and you could make your own bridles and you could make your own stuff. But anyway, I remember that, and I might have been 8 years old. And but I swear all of that hit me when I opened this box. It was the thickest leather smell that I've ever smelled opening a box. And I'll go to my grave saying that. It was just insane. So I don't typically get emotional about something like that, but I got emotional about that because in my mind, taking me back to that memory was worth it. So that being said, on smell alone, I would buy these boots again. Now, let me talk about the boot for a minute. It's the 79 last. So I know some folks aren't fans of the 79 last. They work for me. I do take this boot in my true Brannock size. I'm an 11.5 D on the Brannock. I do take these in 11.5, and that allows me to wear thick socks. I could probably take this in an 11, but it's one of those things where it's so close. And I do have this 79 last in an 11 in those dark rough outs, and they do eliminate the need for a thick sock. So thin socks work fine in 11, thick socks work fine in an 11.5, and I'm a thick sock guy. So these are an 11.5 D Natural Cypress, which is a Horween tannery. I think they call it a combination tanned and then heavy veg retan. So it's supposed to do something for I think the way they talk about it, that helps with some of the break-in process, their process of tanning. It helps it with the break-in. But I'm going to be honest, this is some thick leather. It's their typical Truman 6-ounce thick leather, but this has got a thick feel to it. I talked about that on the what was it, number 8 Cypress, when I did those, I talked about how thick that leather was, how it had that stiff feel to it, and these are just the same. They've got the same matching tongue. I'm going to try to show you this as much as I can. They've got the same matching tongue, and I mean it's noticeably thick, but this has got a, you know, they talk about the process helping the break in, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't see it. This is it's a thick boot. Now what's cool about it is this has only got a day's wear. I wanted to make sure that I at least got some time in the boot where I could talk about how it felt a little bit. And it's thick. I mean, you can feel that. And now I'm saying that, but you can already see the creasing and whatnot. So it's already breaking under my foot. I'm happy with that. It's just such a cool color. I mean, that's such a good color. And you know, they call it mellow honey, I think is what they describe it as. I'm going to call it like a baked bread. Like if you pulled out a loaf of bread, and the way you see the darker colors on it kind of taken to the shapes. I mean, this is a gorgeous, sexy boot. 270 degree Goodyear welted. Kind of the leather midsole. The leather midsole and the heel stack. It almost has like a yellow or a green hue to it, but it just works. It works with it. And of course they got their Truman Commando Sole, which I like. I do have a pair coming. I do have a couple of pairs coming with that Eugene black grind. Or Eugene black sole. It's not a grind, it's a sole, Gabe. I almost did it. So I've got a couple pairs of that coming. That obviously lends itself to be a little dressier. These lend themselves to be a little more rugged. And again, to me, that's my niche, because what I do for a living, as much as you guys might think I just walk around this barn all day, I do go out, I do have a job, and there is quite a bit of gravel, quite a bit of concrete kicking, and it's not all boardrooms for me. So I do enjoy being able to get out in the field, and to me these boots do that. Now the way that they do it, looking this good, that's where style comes in. In case you guys are wondering, I mean, my channels, both on Instagram and here, heavy style influence. I mean, you can do a lot of things, but it's how you do it, to me, that promote that style. And this, I mean, they've got that in spades here. I'm trying to think of the things that I want to tell you. Plain toe, structured toe, matching tongue, Commando sole, structured, I already said structured toe box, but it's not terrible. It's not, like I said, you don't feel it. One wear in, and I'm already telling I love it, because the jeans that I'm wearing it with, if you're seeing any of this other video or any of the other videos, this just goes so good with denim. And I can see it going with khakis. I can see it going with the olive khakis that I tend to wear a lot. Truman's quality is, I mean, they're up there. They're just beyond paying more. There's no sense to pay more for a boot. I don't see any reason to pay more for a boot. And I mean, I'll invite you to the comments to tell me I'm wrong. But if you can tell me that somebody is out there making a better quality boot for enough money that I would trade that money for whatever added quality, then I'll shake your hand and buy you a taco. But I'm telling you, this is the most jam-packed quality and production value in a boot for the money out there. It's got 5 eyelets, 2 speed hooks. I always talk about their speed hooks because there's 2 different ways to make a speed hook. You can do a formed metal speed hook that bends. I've talked about that before. The quality of their eyewear, or of their eyes and their hardware, is, again, it's just a notch above. This particular boot came with flat laces. It came with rawhide laces. And I tried something different here. I went with a generation laces, I think they're called. These are waxed, and I would recommend them, though the laces might take me as long to break in as the boot itself. But I did want a heavy waxed lace. I mean, I'd been eyeing a pair, and so I thought this was the right combo to do it in. And the brown, it kind of pops, it matches with the welting. I don't know if my lighting is good enough to show you that, but it matches with the welting, and so I think that's a home run. Yellow stitching on the sole. I mean, again, Truman's quality is insane. There's a couple of things that I see on the boot that probably that I would, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't see a flaw here and there. But I don't mean that in stitching or production. I just mean that, like, I can see here, I can see what looks like a scuff. And I know I didn't put it on there, but it's not enough for me to worry, because after a day's use or a day's wear, there's enough bending and creasing that it's already starting to blend. So I just didn't, I'm just not going to complain about small stuff like that. I mean, there's just such a nice, it's got a dark tanned insole. A lot of times they got the natural insoles. This one's a dark color. I don't know why they do, I don't know why they mix up things like that, but I like that they did. And I'm just trying to go back. Like, there's a little bit of maybe glue residue here that, again, you just have to really look for something that they missed in their quality control. And I'm not that kind of person. If it were obvious enough, you guys know that when I had that pair of Red Wings, I mean, I sent them back because there's certain things that I can't tolerate. And having a pair of boots that it looks like Ray Charles got turned loose with a sewing machine, I'm not going to do that. I'm not paying good money for that. But just if I see, something that I can take care of in the first cleaning, or if like I said, on that one mark, if after the first wear I won't even notice it, then I'm tickled. Their heel work's amazing. They just, again, you show me a better value and I'll buy the boot. I don't know what else to say about them. I keep on saying this is, when I posted about this boot on Instagram, I keep on going back to my slogan of one man's search, because really and truly the purpose, what I'm finding fun about this channel is I can do the things that I want to do, which is, I earn my money, I spend my money, I do the things that I like doing, but I get to share with you guys some of the lessons I learned along the way. I get to buy a couple of things, compare them, and then sell something. So all of those things just strike my fancy. But I posted when I took these first photos of this boot, and I openly said it. I said, this is going to be one of the things that make me stop looking. This fills a massive void. It's not really a void. This fills a massive spot in my boot collection because it's strikingly attractive. We know it's well built. We know it'll last. We know it's a heirloom quality boot. It can blend from. It's not as dressy. I know that. The 56 Last is dressier. Some of my Parkhurst boots are dressier, but this boot walks anywhere. And the color on it and the presentation of this boot is insane. So I'm anxious to see when I get those other 56 boots in, the Sesame Double Shot. I'm anxious to see how they look and maybe that gives me my dress boot and my I'm not going to call it a work boot because I'll never work these, but they'll work as much as I do, which means they'll go to a job site, but they're not going to kick a shovel. I'm almost speechless. I'm 15 minutes in and I'm telling you I'm speechless. Love this boot. Love the boot. Tell me what you think in the comments. I will do, like I said, I'll have to go in and figure out what's not going to make it out because I see this boot getting worn a lot. Now I've got the Oxblood double shots behind me still. I'm probably going to sell those because I see this boot getting worn more than those. Just preference maybe. I mean, it's the same boot. That's got a cap toe. This one doesn't. It's the same boot, but this one looks more like me. The dressy factor of this fits my style probably more than the Oxbloods. And then I talked about that number 8 Cypress being something I'd wear to dress up a little bit more, and it's it's going to be a monster. So all that being said, I hope I've shown you enough of this. This is just a sexy boot. I'm anxious to see what Truman comes up with next because I'm already dreading their website every time I see it because they got that tobacco snake bite, which I've got my eye on. I think that's one that I would love to see. I'd like to see some more of their 20 last, to be honest. I'd like to see another mock toe. Their 20 last is impressive. I love how it walks. That sprung toe helps it walk out easy. Little tip from me, I keep the details about these boots written down, and I also track how many times I've worn them because, again, I keep those in the boot, and then I take them out and I lay them down when I'm wearing them, and then I put them back in. That way I'm tracking how many times I've worn these things. I've told you I'm going to start doing photos that I can take, like a patina journey on these just so I can show you them breaking in over time. So right now my little cheat sheet's only got one wear on it, but yeah, that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. We'll talk soon. Y'all be blessed.